Hey, Adam Collins here from Ignite SEO. Thanks for watching the video. We'll get going with that in a minute. But before we do, I wanted to give you a quick run through of exactly the types of things we cover in this auditing process. So we cover the website's on-page SEO score, site architecture, indexation, Google Search Console and Google Analytics auditing, your schema markup, your WordPress plugins, even your Google My Business. We tell you exactly how to rank in Google My Business. Then we look at your page speed, your website, and then what we then do is we run your website through two leading auditing softwares, and all of the findings we collate here for you so you can fix everything with a description of exactly how you fix it. Then, if that wasn't enough, we then have a look at the off-page SEO. We run your website through Ahrefs and SEM Rush, which are two leading pieces of software, and we basically give you all of the findings, everything that you needed to know, which you may not know currently. So, for example, whether your traffic is going up, whether it's going down, how many backlinks you've got, what your current domain rating is, what pages are doing well for you right now, what keywords are doing well for you right now, and then the most important thing, once you know where you are, is to see where your competition is. So then we would take, in this case, we've taken 3 competitors and we've done the exact same thing with them. And what we're able to do is compare your strategy to your competitor's strategy, and we're able to start filling in those gaps for you. Whether you need more content, more pages, more links, all of that sort of stuff is covered here. Last but not least, what we do is we then run your 2 or 3 of your main key landing pages through a on-page auditing checker, which looks at your content, your keywords, your titles, your meta tags, your headings, etc., all of those types of things. And we basically give you the audits here. And for example, you can see in this case, for example, the content score of this site, which is position 11, is 38, whereas it's got to be closer to what the 60s or the 70s in order to fill that gap and then start rising through Google. So we cover a hell of a lot in the audit. I'm only going to cover, obviously we don't want to give away all of our secrets. I'm basically going to show you the first 20 odd in this auditing process with the customer. If you've got any questions, let me know. And if you would like to undertake this audit and you'd also like to get a bit of a discount on it, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the video.
Also share it with our managing director as well.
Great. Yeah. How long do you have, ballpark?
I'm free for as long as needed, really.
Okay, good. Because the only thing, I've done a couple of these now because it's a relatively new thing we've brought in, and I think customers are really seeing the benefit of the amount of detail we go into, but it has ran on average over an hour. So I hope that's not too bad.
That's fine.
But
no, that's fine.
I think customers are sort of appreciating that I'm willing to sort of spend the time with them and go through this stuff anyway. So it's only really going to benefit you. So, okay, so this is the audit here. We go through on-page, site architecture, indexation, your Google Search Console, analytics, schema, plugins, Google My Business, speed, web design, and then we have all these additional notes here of things which need to be fixed. Then just briefly as well, just so you know what we're going to go through, we then, because that could be the audit in itself, but what I like to do is for you to understand what the competitive landscape's like and to see where your shortfalls are. So what I've done is we've taken your site, we've ran it through industry software to give you a rough estimate. This is called SEM Rush. And also we've ran you through a link building tool called Ahrefs, which is very good for link building, so you understand the power of your site. And then we've taken your top 100 pages here, according to SEM Rush. Obviously, no one knows your analytics other than you. It's just Google doesn't share that data, but it's good for you. It's pretty accurate usually. And then we've also taken your top 100 keywords, which SEM Rush thinks drive the most traffic. And then what we've then done is we've then ran it against 4 competitors for you, some local, some Leicester, Nottingham, and then I think one of them was national as well. So you can see how you compare to them. And then lastly, we've ran a quick on-page audit where you can have access to these links. So you can see, say for IT support Nottingham, where your on-page score is. And usually it's pretty accurate in correlating your actual position in Google. So quite a lot to go through, so we'll fly through it as fast as we can. So site redirects, I won't go into too much into these, but site redirects, so you've got HTTPS set up on your site, and that redirects perfectly. Sometimes people will have two sites without them knowing. They have a HTTP and a HTTPS, and they don't redirect. So then what you can have is Google thinks you're copying yourself, but you haven't got that, which is fine. So that's a tick. Obviously, you've got an SSL installed, that's a tick. Your speed was slower than the 2 seconds, just slightly, but because Google are putting such a big push on speed now, it's probably something you want to get sorted out, to be honest. So I'll let that run in the background. But I think you said previously you knew speed might be one of those things, which let me see if let me go into the next one while that's loading. Okay, so you've got Google Analytics, which is a big thumbs up. Looks like you're tracking conversions, which is great. Although we couldn't necessarily see that there's a phone number tracking going on. I don't know whether that is because no one had triggered it, but I don't know whether you want to double check, get with you guys just to double check that you are actually tracking your phone number, the clicks on your phone number across the site as well, not just in the header, but in the footer. Do you know, like, because that's crucial data for you, what you really need to be tracking.
The reason why it doesn't is because it's extremely misleading for our business.
Okay, that's interesting. In what way?
Because our clients go onto our website to find our number to go through.
Yeah.
So when we've worked with SEO agencies and various other things in the past, they've gone, look at all these phone numbers that we've phone calls that we've generated from all these inquiries, and we go, no, that is not inquiries.
Yeah. Is it worth having a support line and a sales line? I know that sounds...
Yeah, we tried that at one point, and all that happens is that if you can't get through on the support line, you'll go through on the...
Makes sense.
Or if you feel you're not getting through quickly enough on the support line, you'll ring the sales line, to the point where actually some clients would just ring the sales line straight away, wouldn't even
because they know they'll get through. Yeah,
they feel like, and then from the sales line we have to say, sorry, no, we can't put you through.
Oh, right. Okay.
It caused more problems than it solved.
Yeah, I do that with the Village Gym. Every time I call them, you call the support line, you get nothing. If you call the line saying that you want to buy a membership, you straight through.
Yeah.
But it's,
that's the psychology of it, and that's what we found happened with people. They would ignore the support line.
Awesome. So for the speed, it's actually loading a bit faster today, which is good. So actually that is under our 2-second score. But what I would say is that can definitely be faster. I mean, 2 seconds is like what the high end. I'll give you I'll give you the exact plugin which you should use, and I reckon you'll be able to get that down to like 1.2, and I reckon you'll be able to get that up to an A. So I'll give you that in a minute. Robots.txt. So basically, that is where's your site? Your IT department. This is just this file here. I can't type it in. This is just this file. This is good. So basically, you're saying it's Google can read your site fine, it can crawl it, and you've got your sitemap in here as well. So that's all best practice. So that's a pass. You've got a sitemap XML, which is really good. So that's this here. Which is again really, really good. So you've got all of your pages and stuff in here, which is great. So that's a pass. Your sitemap has been submitted to Google Search Console, which is good. So Google Search Console is like the interface where it tells you about your health of your site. So all of that submitted, that's very good. They've submitted, they've included it in the robots.txt, which I just showed you there, which is very good. What we'd recommend is, and a lot of sites don't do this, we always actually recommend having a on-page sitemap. So not an XML version of it, actually having a page on your site where, for example, like down here, it would say sitemap, and down here where it says sitemap, and when you click through to it, just having like, you can pull out all of your pages on your sitemap really, really easily. It's just, again, like another way of Google being able to find all the pages on your site. Helps with indexation. It's not going to make a big SEO benefit of like, right, I'm going to rank top for Nottingham, but it just makes sure that like, let's say like you created a blog 3 years ago and it's buried on page 5 of your blog. And you imagine Google will have to go through, say, 5 or 6 clicks to find that. Whereas if you've got a sitemap down here, it can click on that. So that's one click.
And then you've got every page on your site. No one's ever going to look at that page, but it just means that you're never going to be more than 2 clicks away from any page on your site, no matter whether it was done 10 years ago. So it's worth doing. It's not a big one, but it's worth doing if you can. You guys have a HTML sitemap in the footer, which is very good. We always recommend this. So this is set out really, really well, which is good. Website submitted to Search Console. Yep, so that's all fine. Website's easy to edit. So we jumped into your content management system. Everything seems really easy to edit in WordPress. So it seems like the site's been built relatively well, which is always a good, not like one we did the other day. He was also at that talk I did, and it just doesn't load. You go into WordPress and it just doesn't load up. And he's like, "What do you mean? It's on WordPress." I was like, "Yeah, but when you go to edit something, it just doesn't work." So yeah, like, so you haven't got anything like that, which is good. This is one thing which we would recommend doing, which is internally linking all of your main service pages back to your homepage. What that does basically, so the way PageRank is passed, a lot of your links will go to your homepage, but also you'll probably have links across these really important pages here. So what happens is if you've got links to, say, this page here, and links are pointing through to it, well, if there's no internal links here to take you, say, through to a secondary page, what can happen is that PageRank gets lost. So what we always recommend, it looks like this actually does have links to different pages, so that PageRank will pass through to them. But we actually always think, especially because you want to rank your IT support Nottingham page, I'd always, especially on your top service pages, have like a branded internal link back to the homepage, just somewhere within this text. So not in here, not down the sidebar, not in the footer. And you can be a bit more spammy with internal links. So you can do things like, if you're looking for an IT support company in Nottingham, you know, visit our homepage type thing, and link the word IT support Nottingham and mix it up between that Nottingham IT support services in Nottingham, and you can be a lot more spammy with internal links. And it's really, really, actually, Google have put a lot of sort of power onto internal links. So it's definitely worth internal linking all these back to your homepage. That's a quick fix. That'll take 5 minutes. We checked all the header and footer links. They all work. You've got an About Us page, which is really, really good. The reason being is Google now have our story. Google now have a algorithm which looks at EAT, which is expert authority and trust, and expertise, authority, and trust. Basically, what that does is it looks for trust signals. So you have it in About Us page is very, very good. And Mac, this is all really, really great stuff. So yeah, that's sort of a big plus. Your contact page exists, which is great. The knowings, so that's actually a pass. No unsecure content exists. What that means is you're not loading HTTP content from anywhere on your site, which is really something that people do a lot. The fav icon's great. You have a terms of service. The privacy policy, we just recommend you, again, it's another trust score, add in a privacy policy to your site. Actually, by law, you should actually have it because
we've got one, and I really must stop that pop-up coming up every time. It should go. Clicked on it once.
My recommendation to you would be, as well, and this is just from my user point of view, is every time I load this, the video automatically plays the sound, and it can be a little bit annoying for when I was revisiting the site quite a bit. So I'd probably get that to stop until someone actually clicks it. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't see a privacy policy in this. Yeah, just the sound. Yeah, just the sound. I don't know whether you can hear it. If I refresh this. Can you hear the sound?
No, and I can't hear it when I do.
Oh, right, yeah. So you can see up here the little icon. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was auditing it, it was like, I usually listen to my music, and it was constantly like, there was like a medley of your intro and Oasis.
That would be extremely annoying.
Yeah. I was like, I've never heard this part. Never heard this part of Oasis.
Not know it was doing that.
Yeah. So it's that's pretty. Yeah. So I couldn't find a privacy policy, but do you know whether you?
I thought we'd got one.
Oh, so you've got this external one which links externally. So So yeah, I mean that should be fine. We must have been looking in the admin. So yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you've got it down. Protected by. Oh no, actually no, that's for your recapture, your privacy in terms. Yeah, no, I think you need a privacy policy for your cookies. You know, for the fact that you're probably installing cookies for Google Analytics and stuff, and because of GDPR. If you need a template, just let me know. I can file you over a template for that. But just you want to be telling people what cookies you're collecting from them. Things like these social signals will probably be cookies and stuff like that. So so like I said, now what I want to do is just give you a bit more value, a bit more bang for your buck. So we've dropped this through SEM Rush. Now, I think you actually get a lot more traffic than this monthly, but it's estimating roughly you get about 850 visits a month from organic, which I think is quite underneath what you actually get. But, but what the most important one here is the DR score of 11. So I think we spoke when we were at the event that this DR score, this domain rating score, is how powerful your website is. So you would really, so you have 511 backlinks, unique backlinks pointing to you. So your domain score is quite weak considering that you have that many, which would probably suggest that a lot of your links are low value. They're not powerful. So that's something to consider. And on this as well, your top pages. So have your knowledge base is doing, your knowledge bank's doing really well, which is great to see. And it's a really smart marketing move. Do you get many inquiries from your knowledge bank, you know?
It's very hard to tell. Generally speaking, if people actually come through to us, they've visited the website more than once. So they've looked at quite a few bits and a number of pages, sometimes including the knowledge bank, sometimes not. But yeah, it's quite hard to tell, really.
What you want to be doing is having a look in Google Search Console and Google Analytics and seeing which ones in the knowledge bank are doing really well. And then you would want to put a bit of SEO focus towards them, because I imagine some of these are getting traffic, are getting clicks, but they might be, say, bottom of page 1 for when someone types in, say, cybersecurity bad or what is redundancy. Whereas them types of pages are the perfect low-hanging fruit. Let's say if you work with an SEO agency or you work with one, you build, say, 3 or 4 links to it. You take that from bottom of page 1 to top of page 1, and you just increase your traffic from, say, getting 20 clicks a month to 1,000. And that's you've done such a great job with your knowledge bank that you want to be maximizing on that. So you want to be cherry picking ones out which you believe, say, they're getting clicks, but they're not in the top 5 or the top 3, point some links at them and they'll power up straight to the top. And then you can really start kicking your organic traffic up quite a bit. So that was something worth noting. So your IT department, so your blog ranks, so you're doing, oh, that was it. You're not collecting your emails with your free guide. Did you know that as well?
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of gated content.
Okay.
And I kind of would rather, in fact, actually got a statement on there and a lot of places that link to it that say, we don't believe you should have to give your personal information in order to get useful stuff from the internet.
Okay. So it's like your USP.
Yeah. It's yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of it.
That's
I
fine.
do think that if we give them value and come and click that, I think the chances of them calling us are far higher than if we collect their email address or collect a Gmail address, which is normally what happens, and then start to send them loads of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's no right, like you said, there's no right or wrong way of doing it, and it does annoy me when you have to put your email in as well. So yeah. I think that's absolutely fine. So you can ignore that. And then I've just put obviously about de-optimizing Leicester for Nottingham and vice versa, because it's going to be impacted on relevance. So I've put these here, and I've put what your SEM Rush says is your top performing keywords as well, just so you can have a look, along with the position you are. So things like best broadband in my area, position 46. These ones here, 56 messenger app. There's probably keywords here that you can start to take a look at and start cherry picking out and start pushing more of your SEO towards. So having a look at some of your competitors, connected systems then. So This is a bit of a, see, SEM Rush massively underestimates traffic, but it's saying that these guys get 57. I imagine it's substantially more for Nottingham, to be honest with you. These guys rank, I think, position 1 or, no, they rank position 2 in Nottingham behind the university. I'd take this with a pinch of salt, same with yours, but we're including it anyway. But you can see that their DR is 19. So their domain rating is higher than your domain rating. And that's probably the reason why they're ranking above you, if I'm being completely honest with you.